KarovMac here, and today I'm doing a campaign playthrough on Warrior Kings Battles. If you don't know what this game is, it's a strategy game from 2003. It's a hidden gem really, it's one of my favourite strategy games of all time I'd say. It's got some pretty interesting mechanics which you don't see in some of the other strategy games from around the time. So I'm just going to run through a campaign using the Renaissance alignment. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's alright, I'll explain it if you're a new player. If you're on this video, I'm assuming you probably know this game, in which case if you do, just comment on the video, let me know like your strategies for playing the game. I'm always open to hear new ideas and that. I've been playing this game for years, pretty much since it first came out, because I'm an old bastard. But I've never actually completed the campaign. I've always got to a certain point and then just sort of got distracted or whatever, so I'm actually going to just complete it once and for all, and you can see how I get on with it. So this is the campaign map. It's quite an interesting way of doing it. So you've got all the different regions. Every time you conquer one, you get the spoils of war, so you get a reward. So for the first region, which is Angland, you get plus 20 population limit and plus 1 Renaissance advance. So if you don't understand Warrior Kings Battles, there's 3 different alignments which are sort of like factions. So you've got Imperial, Pagan and Renaissance. Imperial are like a really holy, almost like European Crusader faction or alignment. They have really strong heavy infantry. Then you've got Pagan, which as the name suggests, they're pagan. They can summon weird shit, like they have like undead units. They can train monsters to use this as siege weapons, which is pretty cool. I rarely ever play as them though. Then you've got Renaissance, which is my favourite, and that's what I'm going to be doing through in this walkthrough. They're more sort of technology based, so sort of like Europeans with, you can research things in universities, you can get gunpowder critically, which is one of my favourites. I think it's one of the strongest units are like gunpowder units. You can get like cannons, you can get trebuchets and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. So that's my favourite. So we're going to start with Angland. So if we go on here, it just gives you a bit of a description, and then it shows you the 2 generals, AI generals, that you're going to be going against. So you've got Graham, the Prince of Pies, who's a conscript. That's the lowest rank of an AI. And Chancellor Bale the Bald, who's also conscript, and his alignment is Imperial Renaissance. So you don't have to go what is called in the game a pure alignment, is where you would literally just build the buildings from a certain alignment, and if you do that you'll get rewarded with special unit types, but you have to go down the pure route. You can actually mix the alignment slightly, so you can get a mixture of units from 2 alignments. You can't do more than 2, but you won't get access to the top tier units if you mix them up. So we're going to jump in to Angland. They've got little quotes at the start.
Campaign begins.
Didn't even have time to read it.
Are in the west and north. Although they are inexperienced generals, there is a danger you will be forced to fight them on 2 fronts, which could be your undoing. Your army is limited in size and capability, but if you are swift and attack decisively, you can use surprise to your advantage and destroy your first opponent before the second can move against you.
Right, so they've got these little intros at the start, which I quite like. That's about as far as you're going to get as a story with the campaign in Warrior Kings Battles. In the first one, Warrior Kings, the campaign was very story based, which was quite cool. It followed like a narrative, whereas Warrior Kings Battles, it's every level is almost like a skirmish, so you're just starting from scratch with your new upgrades that you unlock, and you're just fighting against AI generals. but you're in different positions. Some of the maps are pretty cool. You have to think tactically, defensively on some of them, and obviously the AI get harder. So when you get to like elite AI, like it's pretty tough, to be honest. This first level was pretty easy. It shouldn't take too long if I stop blabbering, but yeah, let's crack on. So if you haven't played it before, I'm just going to explain some of the base mechanics. So you've got a food system which is pretty original. I like it. So you build your farms. Each farm can support a certain amount of units. Most units consume food, not all units do. So you see in the top here, I've got this bar. I've got 600 food in my stores, but this bar here says 7 out of 20. So my farms can support 20 units, but I have 7 units that are consuming food, which are here. So basically, out of every 20 units of food, 7 will be deducted because they're scranning their heads off on the food. So you obviously if you want a big army, you've got to build a lot more farms, but you can also get upgrades so that your farms can support more troops. There are also certain units that don't consume food, like peasants, mercenaries, carts, things like that. There's a couple that don't consume food, so it's beneficial not to just build up a big army. Like you don't want to like trickle build an army like in little bits, because then you're constantly using up food. So the best tactic I find, especially on a level like this when I haven't really got to build up any defences, is just get a lot of food put away and then just build up an army in a wanna. Then there's the least time possible that they drain in on your food supplies. So I'm just going to build loads of peasants. Just want to get some farms going. Yeah, so at the moment, yeah, each farm supports five units.
But it's my day off.
Population cap is 100. I think the maximum on Warrior King's battles is 800, which is pretty cool. You can get some really big battles going. I've got a video that I posted years ago on this channel. Would be worth checking out. It's quite a big battle that me and a mate did, multiplayer. So we're just going to get loads of farms built. So the colour of the grass denotes like what sort of farm you'll get. Like you see in the darker green, the fresher looking colour, you'll get a fertile farm, and that'll produce the base rate of food. Whereas if I were to hover over just the normal grass, you'd just get a standard farm, and that would produce slightly less. And then you've got arid, which is on the horrible dead grass, and that produces less food. So generally a peasant will in one trip will collect 10 food.
It's got to be more to life than this.
That's obviously without any upgrades.
All work and no play as usual.
Or like if you build a windmill, it doubles your resource production, but we'll get onto that later. So yeah, they'll just crack on. Same with materials.
That looks like a lot of work.
Your resources are food, materials, and gold. So materials is wood or stone, but they're both used exactly the same. However, it's always better to mine from a stone deposit, because they produce twice as much materials as wood. So in one trip, a peasant will collect 20 materials if they're mining from stone, whereas it's only 10 if it's from wood. So yeah, another thing you've got, this is another quite cool feature. So your mana is your main thing. If you lose that, if it gets destroyed, you're out of the game basically. This is what's called a Civic Building. So to build another Civic Building, it has to be within the walls or like connected to your manor. So if I'll just pick a building, so a guild hall, I can't build it there. It's got to be connected to the walls or like close to the manor. So you can obviously expand out. You can build a really big sort of castle, And then you get rural buildings such as a village or trading post or church, maypole, some of those ones. You can build them anywhere. So I'm going to, so we've got, there's an enemy over here. I've played this mission so many times, so we've got an enemy over here and we've got an enemy over here. So funny thing is, this enemy here, he will surrender as soon as you kill one of his units. He's obviously a bit of a pussy, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to send some archers over, kill one of his units, and he'll surrender, and then he'll become our ally, and then it will just be one less to deal with.
Yes, Lord.
And we can also, when you ally, you share line of sight, so
yes, Lord.
It'll be good to see a bit more of the map. Where are they?
Yes, Lord.
Right, yeah, let's just shoot a peasant.
Aye, Lord.
Like an evil bastard. There we go. Why do we fight each other when that fat wastrel? How does that mean? The Prince of Pies remains at large. I have a bone to pick with him as he kidnapped my favourite cook last week. Let us ally together and crush the greedy swine. Afterwards I shall pledge allegiance to you and you will be the ruler of all Angland. Agreed. Yes. I managed to kill one of their peasants. Oh well.
Yes, Lord.
Right, so bring them back over
Aye,
here.
Lord.
See, I don't have to worry about defense in this level because the other general, he won't ever really attack you. I don't think I've ever been attacked. Red will send some over to him, but he generally just sits, the other enemy just sits there. So normally I build like watchtowers and stuff like that, but I'm not going to waste the resources on it. I'm just going to stockpile a decent amount of food and then just build up an army and go and wreck his shit. So I'm just going to build a peasant to build some stuff here. So what I want to get is a guild hall. You get some economic research from here. So I want my farms to be able to support more units, so that I can also increase how much food I'm bringing in. So he's bringing in, the cart's bringing in about 100 each time. So we'll get that built. And then I love the unit models in this game. I know they look a bit dated with the textures and that, but I just think it just, with 3D models, I think it just adds so much depth to the game. It just makes it a lot more immersive. Like, just, you get right down to ground level, you can have a look around, especially if you've got a big battle going on. It looks pretty cool. Actually, it feels like a sort of a living world rather than just some 2D sprites. Right, so I'm going to research heavy plow, which will double the amount of units each farm can support. How many? I've got 7 people chopping wood. Probably do with a few more. I'll stick 4 more because I need to build some more buildings, and it's quite heavy on resources there. Yes, obviously we've got the basic units, spearmen and archers here. Light infantry will beat heavy infantry, generally speaking, because they're a lot quicker. Like, these spearmen would never be able to catch these archers.
Aye, Lord.
They're just a lot quicker.
Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord.
Heavy cavalry will beat light infantry,
Yes, Lord.
but heavy infantry will beat light cavalry. They're sort of like a, not a it's a bit like rock paper scissors really with this. So you've got light cavalry, light infantry, heavy cavalry, and then obviously artillery, but that's obviously more for buildings, a lot of it. So each one beats something, but is also vulnerable to another. So we want to build I want to build a shop because that lets me build a tavern, which lets me recruit mercenaries, and mercenaries just require gold to recruit, but they have no food upkeep, so there won't be a drain on my food supply, which is always good. It's a good way of getting a defensive unit early on without it draining your food. So you can still build up food, but you can have a little unit of mercenaries there just as defense. One thing that I would always suggest is training your units. I'm not going to do it on this one because it will be quite a short one, but you build a training dummy. Each one of these can train 4 units at one time, and once you built it, it's free to train your units. So spearmen, for example, their attack is 30, but fully trained it'd be 41, so that's just over a 25% improvement. So if your trained spearmen went against some untrained spearmen, they're going to win, and it's free to train. You don't, once you've built that training dummy for 50 materials, which is nothing, that's it, it's free. You can just keep using it and just cycle your units through and get them all trained up. There's no point in training ranged units because you don't ever want your ranged units to come into contact, into hand-to-hand combat, so there's no point bother doing that. So now we're just gonna slowly build, get some recruitment buildings. We want that as well. Flaming arrows. We want our archers to be able to set fire to buildings because it does damage over time. And also fire spreads, that's another cool thing. So if you were to set fire to a field, the fire can spread to other fields and then it can spread to other buildings, which is a really nice little touch, I think. There is a lot of depth to this game, which you wouldn't have thought for a game of its time, but I suppose it was a different time really. Yeah, so mercenary, 20 gold and 0 food consumption. They also have an arson ability, so they can set fire to buildings themselves just with torches, which is pretty cool. So I'm just going to train 10 of them, stick them there. Yeah, we're going to want some more spearmen and archers, but I'm going to wait till I've saved a bit more food up. It's got 1300 at the moment. I'll probably go for roughly 2000. I could do with building some more farms as well because my total would be 70 that I could support, but I'm going to build more units than that. Like I said, the population cap is 100, but I've got 39 at the moment, so about 30-ish of them are peasants, so they don't even count. So I'll probably build about 70 troops. Build a couple more farms just to be on the safe side. Yeah, 3 more farms, that should do it. Just got their mercenaries coming. Want an armory, so we can build some mangonels. I need some more resources. I'm running quite low on materials. How many have I got? 11 collecting materials, so then we want a armory, and then I'll build about 3 mangonels just to lay siege to the enemy with. You want to take out their mana as quick as you can really, because once their mana's gone, as I said before, then that's game over for them. So yeah, we should have enough for an armory now. See, with these carts, if you attack an enemy cart, it will kill the driver, and then you can use any unit to take over the cart. So if they've got a cart with loads of resources in, you can kill the driver, take it over, and then you get the resources, which is pretty cool. Also, another feature which I think's pretty decent is, say I found a gold deposit or stone deposit far away, I can build a village there. Even if I wanted more space for farmland, I can build another village, put all my stuff there, and then set up a supply line so that the cart in this village would take the resources from that village, drop it off at this village, and then go back, and then this cart would collect all of them and then take it back to the manor, instead of that cart from that village having to travel all the way back to the manor. It's little details like this which I think make this a great game. Right, so we've got,
As long as you keep the money
yeah,
coming.
we've got the mercenaries. I'll show you a bit on formations. So this is another cool thing. You can form your units up. You have to have 8 or more units to make a formation. So you can do line, column, which is good for travelling. They get like a speed bonus if they're in column. Do wedge, which is generally used for cavalry. I think it gives them an attack bonus as well. And then orb, which is gives them a defense bonus, but they can't move. And then line is just it's good for just attacking really, or just forming your troops up in a line. You can also add other units to a formation. They don't have to be the exact same unit, but if they're heavy infantry, I can then join them into another heavy infantry formation like this. So I've got spearmen and mercenaries there. Right, armory's built. We need to take a couple of them, maybe one more. You can build a sapper as well, who can build siege weapons, but it's not going to be much use because we haven't unlocked the trebuchet yet. So I think the only thing he can build at the moment is a siege engine. A siege tower, which is pointless because their gates are open. So that's one thing that bothers me about the AI, is they never seem to close their gates, and it makes it easier obviously, but it just sort of takes a bit of fun out of it. Oh, a lucky wagon. Right, now these appear randomly on the map, and if you get them in time, they only stay for a short amount of time, you get rewarded with a unit, like a random unit, and sometimes they can be like top tier units as well, so I need to get that quick before it disappears. Sent my archer because he's the fastest. If I had a scout it would have been better, but I didn't build a trading post. Hopefully he'll get, the AI never take the lucky wagons, so they're just for the players. But hopefully I can get there in time. Look at him go. He's bow in the air. Like he owns the place. Come on. I think it was... Ooh. Yeah, it was around here somewhere. They should reveal... Yeah, there it is.
Yes, Lord.
Sometimes I've got literally within millimetres of a cart and it's disappeared. Yeah, so you might get lucky. Also, it can randomly explode, so you could just end up losing your unit as well. That's why it's best to just send one unit, one quick unit that you don't mind losing, in case it does blow up. He's nearly there. Where is he? Oop, there he is, coming over the hill. Come on. Nearly there. Oh, what are we going to get? Is it going to blow up? Where's it? Come on. Oh, wow. Imperial Knights.
Aye, Lord.
I believe
Yes, Lord.
they are...
By the sword of Anathos, death
They're top
or
tier.
glory.
Cavalry. They're not the best in the game. I think the Holy Warriors or something are the best,
Aye, Lord.
but they're still very strong cavalry. You can only get these if you're Imperial, obviously. That's going to help us with attacking this. To be fair, I could probably attack with just these and wipe out their whole force, but I won't do that because where's the fun? So I also want to get a supply cart, because your ranged units can, when they get low on ammo, they just take ages to reload. So if you get a supply cart, it will resupply them with ammunition. So they've just fired there. You see the little blue things around their base, that's their ammunition. And then when it disappears, they can still fire, but it just takes ages for them to reload. So you want to have a supply cart to resupply them, to stop it from happening. Barracks and watchtowers can also resupply range units. They'll just do it automatically if they're within range. Right, speaking of which, let's get a supply wagon. We'll get another mangonel, and I've got enough food now. I think we're ready to spam some archers. Oh, okay, I haven't got enough materials. I'll get some more spearmen though. They don't need materials. So yeah, I think we're ready to, once we get some more archers, we could easily attack with just this small force. Yeah, that was a good find, that Imperial Knights. 8 of them. Nice. Yeah, I've got an attack of 34, which is not bad. Not the best, but with training, I think these would get up to about 50 attack. They've got good defense, 16 defense.
We're ready to fire, sire.
Right, so I've got them coming. I've got enough some more archers now. Got 5 more, and then we've got 2, got a few there.
Yes, Lord.
Got 2 there. I think that'll be enough, to be honest.
Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord.
We'll have a go anyway. Those Imperial Knights have made a big difference. They'll be able to mop up most of the stuff that they're going to have. Put them in that formation, get everyone in column so
Yes,
they can
Lord.
move faster. Form them up as well. Yeah, I think we're good to go. Let's go and destroy some stuff. So we're going to form up here.
Any chance of some plunder, sire?
It'll take a while for the mangonels to get there, obviously. They're slow as shit. Actually, they're not that bad. About the same speed as infantry, pretty much. Yeah, the pathfinding when they're in formation can be quite shoddy sometimes. When they're in column, it seems to be the best because they collide with, well, I mean, they're just going through the trees there, but the AI find it a lot easier to make a route when they're in column. See, don't you just love the graphics? It has got a certain charm to it. These 3D models show their age, but I think it looks great. Timeless. Is there another one? Oh my god, what the? Another lucky wagon.
Death or glory.
I don't think that's ever happened to me before in that short space of time, and it's pretty much in the same place. Right, okay, I'm going to possibly sacrifice one of these Imperial Knights to go see what that is. Let's see if it's worth it. Oh, what's it going to be?
Or glory.
What? Okay, more Imperial Knights.
Death or glory.
I mean, I could pretty
fight
much
for
just
the faith.
attack them with these alone and I'd probably destroy them.
They will burn in hell.
But we'll do it properly. I had a plan in my head and we'll stick to that plan.
Death
Why not?
or glory.
So I'm going to put my cavalry up there to protect my
Yes,
archers.
Lord.
Actually,
Yes,
no,
Lord.
no, I don't
They
want to do
will
that.
burn in hell.
I want to bring my infantry up first because they'll be good defence against cavalry
Any chance
and
of some
other
plunder,
infantry.
sire?
Whereas the cavalry will struggle
Yes,
against heavy
Yes,
infantry,
Lord.
even these Imperial Knights. because the heavy infantry get a bonus against cavalry. So if these can actually hurry up, then maybe we will get somewhere. Yes, this is a perfect attacking point, really. You've got these vantage points here. Stick the mangonels up here, and the archers take the cavalry down there, and then the infantry can just come down the hill, and at the same time they can protect my archers and the mangonel. Easy,
As long as
he
you keep
says.
the money coming.
Get them in a line.
On my way, sir.
Stick them there. Get the archers there. Get the supply wagon up.
Don't get me
Get the
killed.
mangonels up. And get a cavalry there.
Burn in hell.
Gonna get the archers to fire on
Yes,
the
my
farm.
liege.
See if we can get a decent fire going.
Aye, lord.
Here come the.
Of course,
Okay.
sire. Aye, lord.
That's that on fire, I think.
We're ready
Yeah.
to fire, sire.
Right, we'll get these mangonels to destroy their village. They ain't got a village that can't produce food.
Glory.
Those cavalry will get wiped out by my spearmen and that.
We're ready to fire, sire.
What the? We want to keep. Oh no, what's he doing? What the?
As long as you
What
keep
are
the
you
money
doing?
coming.
Right, I'm going to disband them as a formation and just send them in.
Well, get
They do
set.
struggle sometimes with the formations.
Death or glory.
Sometimes it's better to get them out of a formation when you're attacking. But they're good for defence. If you just want to have a stationary unit, it's good to stick them in a formation, because they can defend pretty well, but attacking is not always the best. I'm just going to go straight for their mana, because once they lose that, they lose.
Just don't get me killed.
And we will... Ah, red are attacking as well, with the token one squire. Ah, he's dead. Cheers, red. Oh, great help. What are these mangonels doing?
You need snacks.
They've got pretty good range on them, if they'd actually move in the right direction.
Yes, lord.
These infantry just sat here, just
Well, I
go
guess that's what I'm paid
pillage
for.
their village and kill their peasants. Because why not?
Just don't get me killed. Just
What
don't
are
get
you
me
doing?
killed.
This is where the game shows its age a bit. I think it's because they can't see the mana, so you need like a spotter. If I maybe move him within
Death or glory.
line of sight, then maybe they'll fire. Or maybe not. Right, I'm just going to
For
send
glory in battle.
these knights in just to mop up some of the last defenders. Archers, you can set them,
Lord.
just start
Yes, my
setting stuff on fire, why not?
Quick march.
Just start burning the farms. Just because of stuff.
Any chance of some plunder, sire?
Yeah, the mercenaries can set fire to things by hand, which is pretty cool.
Just don't get me
It does
killed.
take a little while though, so it's not the best.
Unbelievers.
Yeah, here we go, so you've got a cart. Oh, no, it's just been destroyed somehow. Never mind. And they are nearly dead. In 2, 1, bang. Right, that's them done. We have conquered Angland. You have vanquished your foes. The people crown you the High King of Angland, and the guildsmen bow down before you. You've secured a plentiful recruiting base and now have control of the economy. You'll begin the next level with +20 population limit and the ability to build sawmills and windmills. Sawmills and windmills are really good. They basically double your resource production and food production. We'll get on that in the next video. I love these little outros where they're all just dancing around like dicks and shooting fireworks off. Right, so that's the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, give it a like. If you want to see the rest of the series and see where we go with this, then please subscribe. Also, if you've got any tips or suggestions, pop them in the comment box. I'll always read them. I'll be glad to hear any ideas. So yeah, cheers for watching, and KarovMac out.